Hey y'all, welcome to my channel and welcome back if you're returning. It's Fiery Moon and I'm here to do the general collective weekend vibe reading. It is March 6th as I'm recording this. We currently have Sun in Pisces, Moon in Libra. As I always say, just take what resonates and leave the rest. Know that time as well as the energy is fluid. And the energy can be vice versa or interchangeable. We're going to be starting out with the mixed emotions deck. I then have the energy oracle cards, and we're going to use the lustrous tarot to break it down. So, with that being said, we're going to jump right on in and see what messages of guidance, healing, truth, love, wisdom, acceptance, understanding, as well as protection do we need as it pertains to the collective and the energy surrounding this weekend. Just want to see something. My app don't work. Just want to check and see if anything is moving. Yeah, Venus is going to be moving into Aries. Let me see when that is. It's at 29 degrees right now. Yeah, she'll actually be moving into Aries today. Which Venus is exalted in Aries. So exaltations play as like second home energy for planets. So you may want to, check and see where Aries is in your house, in your houses, because it will also join Saturn and Neptune as well. But as I'm recording this, it is still in Pisces. So let's see. What messages of guidance, healing, truth, love, wisdom, acceptance, understanding, as well as protection do we need as it pertains to the collective and the energy surrounding this weekend. So, bottom of the deck we have love. As I was talking about Venus, right? It says love platonic, but it says devoted, affectionate, and tender. I feel like this could be like the energy that you're in. I'm hearing how you love, how you love. Then we have envious at the bottom, which says jealous, suspicious, and possessive, followed by embarrassed. And then we have grateful and ashamed. This is making me feel like, because I do feel like this is your energy, especially with what my guide said, how you love. And this could be you or someone you're energetically connected to. Take whatever side of the energy resonates for you. And if it's not for you, don't try to make it fit. But it feels like, there's an energy here with this envious that, like the card says, could be, jealous or envious of how you love or how others love you. What I'm hearing is where your love is going to. So someone could be, envious or jealous or, even speculative in the way of, oh my God, what's that Michael Jackson song? Or is it the Jackson 5 where they say, who's loving you? So there could be someone that's literally like not happy about who you're loving on or who's loving on you. If that is even the case, because it's just speculation with suspicion here. Because it's almost like with the embarrassed card, whoever is in this energy, because it says self-conscious, awkward, and exposed. Whoever is in this envious energy, they feel like I almost feel like they were in the energy of like hiding from you, like hiding who they are, who they were. Really more so feels like who they are. They weren't willing to be themselves with you. So it's almost like for some of them, or you, could be seeing like you being fully, open and almost vulnerable and, just exposed with someone else. And they don't like it. And then I feel like this grateful energy is yours as well. It says thankful, appreciative, and blessed. Like, yeah, I don't, like, it almost makes me feel like, yeah, I'm glad I got away from people or a person that was in this energy because, this person could be very insecure. Because I almost feel like with this grateful card, like you turned your back on this person, on this energy, and like put your focus, your energy somewhere else. For some of you, it may not even be with another person. You could just be loving on yourself. But it's because it's almost like because they're not, they're saying no longer in the picture. They it's almost like they feel that's what you're doing because it's what they would do. Like this could be someone that like gets into relationships to hide. Like they use relationships as like a cover up. But it's almost like that isn't even working for them. Because it's this embarrassed energy, like they feel exposed. wherever they're at or whoever they're surrounded by, it's like they feel very uncomfortable. Like, it's almost giving me like being the butt of a joke energy. But they don't have, either they don't have anyone or a relationship where they can hide in. And some of them also with this grateful energy, it's almost like this is a need to be grateful, or should have at least been appreciative of what they had with you. Because I mean, you really got to think about it. Why would, anyone be envious of how somebody loves if, for one, they were content within themselves, or I guess I'll say it like this, like, you will only be worried about that if you're no longer receiving that. Yeah, because with that grateful card, I'm feeling like with this ashamed up under it, like, yeah, this is someone who is, yeah, they're definitely feeling some type of way. Like, damn. I feel like someone that like has their head in their hands and they're just sitting there like, but it's almost like we're resistant and guilty. Yeah, they don't want to take accountability. Resistant for something that they've done. Like, because that's what it makes me feel like. Whoever's in this energy, you did it. You caused yourself to be like on the outside of another person's love, quote unquote. But let's see what's going on, Spirit. What energy do we need? Or what messages, rather? So we have the overwhelm card, yeah. It's almost like whoever's in this energy, like I said, that energy of like, some people use relationships to hide themselves in. So it's, and I mean that in a way where like someone will get with anybody, for one, just to say that they don't have anyone, just so they're not alone, but also in a way to use as a buffer so people don't really look at them and who they are. Whoever's in this energy is still, even with the overwhelm card, yeah, they could be like surrounding themselves or doing a lot of things to almost like prevent sitting with themselves, because at the bottom we have vulnerable, and this is the energy that they're like actively trying to cover up, but they're not, they're angry. Yeah, the only thing, especially with this hateful and depressed, yep, it's like this person is digging a deeper hole for themselves emotionally, because you can't, things, whether they're physical things, people, doing certain things, going certain places, that can't, you can't use things from, or I'm not gonna say you can't, I mean, at least from my experience, it's just not even that I've tried, but it just never works when you try to like overcompensate. That's what it is. Overcompensate with physical things to make yourself feel better emotionally, because it's almost like, and I've said it before, like, say like you wanted a car, and then so you go, you do what you need to do to get this car, and you want this car, but it's almost like the reason or the intention behind why you want this car isn't because you want it. You want it because you want somebody to look at you a certain way. You want it because of the attention that it possibly may or may not get you. whatever the case may be. But once you get that car, and and I mean, we've all been there. But the intention matters, because if you just get in a car for the intention of, look, I need a car to get from here to here to do this, and this, it's going to do that for you. But if you get the car with the intentions of getting like some type of attention or recognition, and that's the sole purpose why you got it, normally, and I've even had people say to me, like, and that's been in that exact situation, like, yo, basically, in but so many words, say it didn't do what I thought it was gonna do. It didn't turn as many heads. It didn't get me as much attention. It actually, for some of them, set them back. All right, another one. What else do we need, Spirit, as it pertains to the energy for this weekend? Yeah, so we have trust, which is almost coming through, because when it flew out, I just heard balance. It says reliant, interdependent, and certain. Yeah, like someone is needing to like balance something out. Bottom of the deck, we have resentful, which says indignant, offended, and bitter. Yeah, I almost feel like whoever's in this energy, male or female, doesn't matter, but this card always makes me feel like a Queen of Swords reverse. They are, it's almost like, why isn't whatever situation they're in working out? And it's almost like for people that, this is a very internal thing, especially with the peaceful here, because it's almost like, yeah, it's like, why, like, where is this for me, this peaceful energy? Why can't I have that for me? And it's almost like, why do you want it so bad? Because then we have excited, which says elated, thrilled, and enthusiastic. Yeah, and I feel like this is your energy. And it's almost like for some of you, there could be an energy or multiple energies that are in this overwhelmed and trust energy. For some of them, they're unable to like connect with you in such a way because you're in this excited energy. Like it almost feels like, you're living life, you're, enjoying yourself. And at the end of the day, that's what, everything really boils down to. The way that you interact with yourself, that is the main thing that you have to do before you can interact with another person. And it's almost like, yeah, you gotta, like, in a way, you gotta fuck with you heavy first and foremost, because you know what that ends up doing is the way that you fuck with yourself, people end up seeing that. And it's almost like, well, it almost, so like, in a way, it'll weed people out, because you'll either encounter people that fuck with themselves the same way, so y'all link up, or you encounter people like this, the envious energy we've been talking about, where they know they like basically can't fuck with you if they tried, because they are harboring, some, resentment, like we've seen within themselves. They harbor, jealousy and envy. And it's almost like, yeah, because they know, like, so people in that energy, all they'll end up doing is projecting. But just like we have this powerless card at the bottom, it doesn't work against you. It leaves them feeling stuck. It says paralyzed, ineffective, and weak. Like, yeah, you're the one, like, you're bound to yourself. Nobody else is bound to you. Yeah. Then we have the grief energy. And then I said that, didn't I? That's how I felt somebody was with their head in their hand. And it says sorrowful, heartbroken, and bereaved. Yeah. And someone could be, in grief over this, but it's almost the lack of vulnerability that this person has, like their capacity to be vulnerable, or it's I'm almost feeling it in a way where, how can I say this? Like, it's almost like a point of view, like, or a perspective that this energy has, like, feeling vulnerable would make them weak, would make them, or leave them open to certain things. And it's like, nah, you kind of sort of have to be vulnerable. Imagine how, like, if you are someone that is in this excited energy, you have to be completely vulnerable with yourself. Because at least for me personally, I feel like, being vulnerable, people have their opinions, and everybody's entitled to their opinions and their perspectives. But you really gotta, like, think about some shit sometimes. If I'm always so closed off, what type of situations am I gonna attract? Why would I even want to attract someone who's, has a hard exterior, or who's unable to, be understanding, be compassionate? Because that is a part of being vulnerable. You can't have one without the other. You can try, but it ends up leaving you like this. Vulnerability is not a weakness. It's not. Like, and that's how I feel like this energy is. Like, yeah, like there's a risk with everything to an extent. And trust me, like, I get it. But that doesn't mean that I have to align with it for myself. And the only thing, like, I have for people that, view vulnerability in this way is like, it hurts. It hurts because you're closing yourself off to, some potentially good shit. Like, I don't understand it. And I know that's funny to say, like, to get something but not understand it. Like, why would you do that to yourself? I guess that's where the non-understanding is for me. Because it doesn't make any sense. Like, that's almost like, like, I guess this is the best way I can explain it. Sometimes the way my guides give me stuff is, it's funny. Like, I have very humorous guides, for one. And, like, to me, God is a comedian. But anyway, that's another video. That's like, walking around having a cup, right? You have an empty cup. And this is so crazy because, like, I clean my space, right? Every time, there's a new moon and a full moon, and I have my stuff out to, set up, get my altar back together. And this is the craziest analogy, and this is probably why Spirit gave it to me like this, but whatever. It's like walking around with an empty cup, right? And you want water in that cup. But it's almost like this would be you, collective, this excited energy, with this water. But it's almost like the people or this person or whoever it is, they're walking around with the empty cup. They want water, but they're walking around with it like this and still expecting to get this cup filled. Now, vulnerability is taking the lid off of the cup. It's the only way that you'd be able to pour into them. They'd be able to pour back into you. Like, this is why I say, like, I get it, but I don't understand it. Because it's as simple as that. And it's almost like this person is making it harder than it needs to be. And, like, in no way is this, diminishing what someone has been through or is going through that has gave them, or, either gave them this perspective or has them in this energy. But gotta make it make sense. Let's see what's going on, y'all, because it's early and I do have a few things to do this morning. So let's see, Spirit, what's going on? And you know what? Like, this is making me think of a conversation that I recently had with someone. And not for nothing, like, when I talk to people, it almost feels like, you know, like a lot of people, like I encounter people that, you know, will talk to me and will either, you know, spill all the beans of their life within moments of me encountering them. But I also, you know, encounter people that, you know, kind of like tread lightly. Either way, I don't care, because I'm a person, like, if whatever you're telling me, if it don't make sense to me, I'm going to ask questions. So I was talking to someone maybe last week or the week before, and without getting into specifics of the conversation, they, you know, basically said to me, and this is someone that I've known for years. In fact, as I'm recording this, it is their birthday. So if you come across this reading, happy birthday. He's always been someone that he wasn't like, it's not like he, or at least I'll say, I never thought that he intentionally, you know, withheld stuff from me. He was just very careful with the way that he would, you know, say and express things to me, which is cool. Like, I'm not a person that pries or whatever the case may be, but he called me and he said, you know what, Jazz? I'm not ready for this right now. And it, you know, in a way, like, he caught me off guard. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, yeah, I don't. He's like, I'm not ready for this. He said, you know, I thought I was, but I'm just not ready for this right now. And I'm laughing because I'm like, first of all, like, where's this coming from? And what are you talking about? Like, ready for what? So, you know, he's like, I'm just not ready for it right now. He was like, you know, let me basically, you know, get myself together, and, you know, once I feel that I'm ready, I'll be ready. And I'm like, okay, still puzzled in a way, like, where is this coming from? But as the conversation goes on, you know, he's saying things, and you know, like, first of all, like, I'm in like a state of shock, almost like a little bit of excitement, a little bit of, I don't even know the word, because I was just feeling so much in the moment. But long story short, when we got off the phone, you know, I sat and I was like, no, before we got off the phone, I said, yo, why do you hold all this stuff in? Like, all of this stuff is stuff like you could have, you know, been said to me, or, you know, you could have just let me know, you know. And I was like, because it made me feel like, for one, now it almost made me feel like him withholding was like very strategic. Like I said, I don't think it's intentional. I just think it's what, you know, we all do to an extent to protect ourselves, to not be vulnerable. But the fact that, you know, after knowing this person for years and, you know, never really having conversations like the one we had, it showed me, and I believe I told him, I said, no, I said, you know what, I get it. You're showing, like, I said, this is displaying to me like growth, the growth that you've had, and the fact that first you were able to recognize it, acknowledge it, but also that you were able to, put it into, actually verbalize it and tell me. And it really made me feel like, okay, it's good. But it showed me like, okay, this person is, allowing themselves to be vulnerable with me in this moment. And I know, like, at least for me, it felt good to hear. But I know it probably even felt good for him to tell me, because I could imagine, keeping that in, or trying to, skirt around it or beat around the bush and not acknowledge it. And I know the main thing that it made me realize was how much strength and courage it took for him to say that to me. And I'll be honest in saying, like, after that conversation, there was a newfound appreciation for him, a new level of respect that I now have, because, like, vulnerability, it entails a lot. It has a lot of things. It has a lot of moving parts. It's not just about, where people think of it as the basis level of just, oh, I don't want to tell nobody how I feel, and I'm not going to tell nobody how I feel. Or if I tell somebody how I feel, it's going to be, no, it's a lot of moving parts. It's actually, being vulnerable is a process. Is the way that I like to see it. So for some of you, you could be encountering someone who, either views vulnerability in that way and not realizing that it's actually like a plus, like it's a perk. So can I get one more, please? So bottom of the deck, we have the Angel of Balance. And I felt that balance with the Trust card. Moon is in Libra, so it represents the Justice card, which represents balance. But I feel it in more so of a way of this Angel of Balance, like Temperance. And then up under that, we have the Angel of Love. And then we have Anxiety, which is like the Nine of Swords. And then we have the Blossoming Abundance. Yeah, and it's almost like whoever is in this energy is, like, honestly, like, trying to figure out the middle point, the balance of, it's like you're either going to cover yourself up, or, you're going to just be free, really, between this overwhelmed and excited. I even feel it here with this Angel of Balance and Love, like, because vulnerability affects the way that you give and receive love. And I feel like this is heavy on this person's mind with the Anxiety, which is like the Nine of Swords, because they want it. This is like the Ten of Cups, the Blossom in Abundance. But it feels like it keeps escaping this person with the all tied up, because of, it's like the Eight of Swords. They're just stuck in their head about it. And it's like, it's not that complex. It doesn't require mental energy, or that much mental energy. Yeah, and see, Spirit is trying to, get them to look at it. Yes, like, it's like this person struggles with, they either use all head or all heart. And it's almost like spirit is trying to show them through a feminine energy. This feels like a Queen of Swords upright, that you can do both. But they look at that as like, with this deceit and the devil here. But it's almost like this feminine energy has cut that. It's almost like the temptation or the toxicity. It's not able to dwell where this feminine energy is. She's They said she slayed the devil. Yeah. Because it doesn't come from a lusty, part of her. Like, there is no strategy or agenda with this feminine energy when it comes to this. They do it because, yes, thank you, Spirit, because it's who they are. And they walk in it. They talk it. They embody this energy. Like, they don't get caught up in, or they're unable to be caught up in the devil's like snare, because the Queen of Swords has the Ace of Swords, which is what this person is missing. The ability to see things clearly, to detach and separate themselves. This thinking woman is this excited energy where they live life free, but this person is stuck. Yeah, they're stuck with this devil energy. And it's almost like they have the opportunity. They see where they can go. They see the potential of, what's outside of this gate. But it's almost like they're keeping themselves there. Look, but they wanna come out from behind the gate. And for some of them, follow what their heart is feeling. But it's almost like, and I don't mean this, but we do have the broken heart. I don't mean it in this way, but it's like, this person could just, be emotionally like scarred or quote unquote broken in such a way where they just don't trust. And I don't know if it's not trusting of others, or not trusting themselves. So can I get one to go with this overall energy for the collective for this weekend, Spirit? What's the overall energy? Whoa. Oh, way too many, Spirit. Less cards, please. So the all tied up energy. Yeah, this is just someone who feels mentally stuck in a prison of their own making. The Eight of Swords, it's like having gum in the hair where they're trying to figure it out. But it's almost like they just can't seem to find the balance that they seek. Look, yep. But it's all also knowing with the thinking man. It's almost making me feel like, for one, they're realizing that they need to recognize the value of something when they have it. But also, with the first chakra, Archangel Michael, which is the root chakra, also looking at like the root of where this comes from for them, and take action to go a different way. With the second chakra, which is the sacral chakra, and then we have the journey card, which is the full energy, because it's almost like this person is keeping themselves limited because of the way that they see things. And sometimes, like, when you see things a certain way, you're required, we have the community card of like having to like lose the herd mentality is what I'm feeling. Because when you do, you actually start seeing the other possibilities as opportunities, not like almost like escape routes or shortcuts, because that's how I feel this person is looking at it. And then you're able to, for one, walk away from those that, don't align with where you're at or where you're going. But it also opens you up to align with people that, like I said before, are in the same energy as you. But it feels like this person is just wanting to like almost play in both worlds. And it's like, nah. Can't do that. And so I see why this all tied up is here like this. But let's put some tarot on it. But the Eight of Swords is a self-imposed prison. It's a mental prison of your own making. So this is the current energy of this person. It's limiting, it's restricting, but only you have the power to set yourself free from this mentality. Give me 1 second, y'all. Excuse me. Well, let's see. What messages of guidance, healing, truth, love, wisdom, acceptance, understanding, as well as protection do we need as it pertains to the collective and the energy surrounding this weekend. And yeah, something with trust is coming up. So like I said before, I don't know if this person has a hard time trusting themselves, or, because of this energy that they're in, it makes it hard to trust someone else. But it's almost like, because I'm feeling it here with this overwhelmed card, to the point where if they're having a hard time trusting themselves, I almost feel like other people can see that or sense that within this person. So it's almost like they try to do things in a way and end up doing too much to make themselves like appear to be trusting or appear to be safe. But it's like, it makes me feel like it's all very strategic on this person's end, because it's almost as if they know they can't be trusted, but it's because they don't trust themselves. So they could do a lot of things to, present themselves that way, but it's faulty. So, bottom of the deck, we have the Page of Swords. which is, a card of messages. It could be a card of, obtaining, more information. Um, it could also be like a card of learning something new. But the way that I'm seeing and feeling it is like this person is realizing, yeah, it could also be that like a realization of this Eight of Swords energy that they're in. Up under that, we have the Death card, which speaks to transformation and change. And then we have a King of Wands, masculine fire energy, followed by the Knight of Cups and the Magician. Yeah, see, even the cards are showing that, yeah, with the Hermit. Because it's almost like in the background and almost like the subconscious, Spirit is highlighting, especially with the Knight of Cups and the Magician, the emotionally manipulative behavior that this person carries. And what's staring them in the face, what it's almost like, yeah, their subconscious is alerting them to this with this energy, but what they're staring at is the Death card. Like there's a need to change, and Spirit is like, look, I need you to maturate. I need you to go from this knight to this king. But there's this fear there with the moon for this masculine and stepping into this energy. And Spirit is almost like trying to get this person to the next level, like emotional mastery, but this is where they're stuck. So can I get one? Because they just told me to do 3 cards, past, present, future. So can I get one for this past energy of we all tied up? What was in the past for this person? I wouldn't be shocked if the 3 of Swords came out. What's in the past for this person? Too many spread. What's in the past for this person? They're saying the root. The 7 of Wands. The resisting. For some of them, it was like the need to fight or protect themselves. They're saying survive. The 5 of Swords at the bottom. Yeah, so in the past, yep, look, and then we have the 8 of Swords there. Still that 3 of Swords. This is almost like an energy of someone like needing to, because they possibly could have been in situations, regardless of what they were, it doesn't have to be exclusive to love, but almost in a way like they had to, like, for one, protect themselves with the 7 of Wands from like people, manipulating or playing mind games or, needing to win at all costs. But it's almost like in turn, if they were dealing or having to be in a situation like this, they almost became who they were trying to protect themselves from. Can I get one more for the 7 of Wands? The 4 of Pentacles. And this could have been, as a, just how they grew up in an environment or a home where they had to do this. Look, I shit you not. Look at this. But it's almost like this masculine with the Five of Pentacles again. This is coming, like I'm almost feeling like these cards coming out behind this masculine are representing their subconscious, which is like almost coming from a lack mentality. But again, what's staring them in the face is the need to, for one end, this Three of Swords being their focal point, like the reason why they do what they do, or what's really driving them, because it affects their stability, and it keeps them withholding in a way. Like, I mean, like it's a protection mechanism, but it's almost like you don't have to do that with everybody. And what's the present energy, Spirit? What's the present energy? So it's almost like this person went into like overdrive and like protecting themselves. Yeah, but with the Eight of Cups, it's time to emotionally let it go. Let go of this tough, hard exterior of the King of Pentacles. It's like I tell y'all all the time, the King of Pentacles, to me, he's a very heavy king. And it's just making me, like, it's linked to this overwhelm card. He, covers himself up with things to, as a form of protection, but also as a way to, look like something. But it's causing too much stress, anxiety, sleepless nights to try to uphold this with the Nine of Swords. And it's not real with the Two of Swords. This person is just not, wanting to face the reality of this. I almost want to say persona for this, as this King of Pentacles, because in between the 9 and the 2 is the Seven of Swords. Can I get one more for the all tied up, which is, manipulation? Can I get one more for this all tied up and the Eight of Cups? Yeah, it's like, it's almost like, I almost want to say for this masculine, yeah, be optimistic. Because there is, especially with the Seven of Cups, like, everybody is not trying to take from you. Yeah, we all encounter people that, have done it, may do it, but you don't know. But everybody is not like that. Because the Six of Pentacles speaks to, like, reciprocation. Give me one for the Seven of Cups, an even exchange of energy. But it could also be, the energy of breadcrumbing. Can I get one more? Why the Seven of Cups here? Because as long as this person stays where they're at, they're just going to, like, in a way, like, stay confused. The Seven of Cups in an emotional way. Like, it almost feels like emotional overwhelm. Because it's almost like I feel like this person feels like they keep making the wrong choice. The Seven of Cups, please. The Seven of Cups. And this is, like I said before, the Hermit coming out is telling this person to go within and stop looking without for this fix. It's almost like with this Page of Wands at the bottom, like, you gotta kind of look at things from a child's eyes, or almost like have a beginner's mind. This person is like I said, they're looking for, like, options, or solutions that are outside of themselves. And the Hermit is saying, nah, I need you to look within first, because you're missing it. You're missing the Ace of Cups, which is a card of self-love. And that's what I feel is being represented here by the Hermit. And I feel like, for one, the Queen of Pentacles, or excuse me, the Queen of Wands coming out is showing them, like, within their own feminine energy, you need to, be receiving. Because, a true Queen of Wands. And for some of them, this is Venus and Aries energy, where, like, for some of you, Spirit is highlighting you as this person for how, like, and I'm not saying that this person has to move like you, but you're like a guide for this person on how to, basically get this done. And it's by way of your actions, like even how you act and how, like, you don't press, how you, with the Empress at the bottom, how you receive. So can I get one for what's to come, or quote unquote the future? Well, let's say it like this: the outcome. What's the outcome? The strength that you gain from taking on this transformation is the outcome. The courage, the strength, the resilience to see, like, yourself through this, to maturate emotionally, mentally, have some, integrity and morals about you. And look at the Six of Pentacles and the Ace of Cups, to still receive. Like, it's still that energy of, like, giving and receiving equally in an emotional way, where it's not like you're half-assing someone else or they're half-assing you. No, there'll be a standard here. That's what the Hierophant is representing. There's a standard. You'll have a standard, for one, because this person may struggle. Like, this is, like I said, if this is someone who, is just like, they use relationships to hide, anybody will do. Like, they don't have a standard. It's just, well, as long as I got another body here next to me, the focus can be on them. So you'll take anybody. Nah. Then we have the Star, which is healing, hope, faith. It's wish fulfillment. Bottom of the deck is the Eight of Pentacles. And this is almost like, I'm almost getting with the Eight of Pentacles, with this being the outcome. You'll actually want to be in this energy. You'll actually want to invest and put in the time, energy, and effort into this energy. Can I get one more? Ooh. One more for this grief, with the Strength and the Star. And this is opposite energies, Leo and Aquarius. But it's the balance of the two. Spirit is so good, y'all. Oh. Can I get one more? It's like the energy of persevering. And then, also, still being able to get what you want. To not feel exposed. To be, like, comfortable in your own skin. That was the Queen of Cups, but she fell on the floor. Can I get one more, please, sir? Yeah, like becoming a light in the dark. That's what I feel like with this moon energy. Give me one more with the moon. Conquering that fear of being seen, because that's all it is. Being seen and being vulnerable. And then we have the Wheel of Fortune, which is forward movement. And then with this being the outcome, if you take, the guidance here, that's where you find peace with the Four of Swords. And then it's almost like you become this emperor. You're a masculine energy. We've already looked the Emperor and the King of Swords. So it's like you'll know that, like it's almost like you know better now as the King of Swords. Now you have the Ace of Swords where it was escaping you earlier in the reading. You have it now. So it's almost like you like that Queen of Swords. We've seen the King of Wands, the Queen of Wands, the King of Swords, the Queen of Swords, the Emperor and the Empress. The King of Cups and the Queen of Cups fell on the floor, but can I get one more? Where are we at? One more, please. Yeah. The Queen of Swords. Then we have the Lovers. And it's like you'll be making, at least for this masculine, you'll be making decisions with your head and your heart in alignment, because although the Queen of Swords is air, she's also water too. And this is like using or having better discernment. For some of you, if this is resonating, like this feminine energy is another energy outside of you. Something makes me want to say like they've seen it all along. I don't know what it is. They've seen it all along. Because this is that thinking woman energy. Give me one for this Queen of Swords. Because it's almost like they know the way forward in regards to either a decision or in regards to what this connection is. The Queen of Swords. Look, I'm telling you, the direction. And then with the Tower at the bottom, this is almost like it's almost like change, the change. I don't even feel like this is a bad tower. This is getting, the Six of Swords is going from chaos to calm. They could have been telling this masculine, because the Queen of Swords speaks. I kind of want to see what this tower is. What's this tower? Like they could have been telling you, like the direction you were going was going to lead to destruction. Yeah. And we have the Chariot, which, not for nothing, the Tower, I don't know if other readers see it this way, but I always get Cancer energy off the Tower. For some reason, I just don't know. But with the Chariot coming out, yeah, it's almost like the direction that you were headed. For some of you, this feminine energy could have told you, like, don't go that route. Don't. But what it's also doing is, with this masculine having this realization, it's it's shaking them back into alignment. That's what I feel. And once that happens, look, Ace of Cups, the Queen of, the Eight of Wands, which is moving them out of this King of Pentacles energy. And like, it's almost like the way that they would, collaborate and associate and or work with others. Here's Aries. There's a new way. They're taking the risk, the leap of faith with the Fool to find a new way to do this. We're going in a different direction. I like this. I like it a lot. So let's grab the guidance and advice. What's the guidance and advice, Spirit, as it pertains to this energy and spread for the collective? And you know what I'm hearing? I'm hearing Drake's, is it Moment for Life? Where he says, it's a celebration every time we link up. So I don't know if you and this person is, possibly going to link up, but it's a celebration. Because I feel like, not for nothing, even if this person tried to hide themselves with you, they really couldn't. Because it's almost like you being in this energy that you're in, like it's infectious. It's very infectious. Like it makes other, and that's the point. Like when you show up as yourself, you create the space and capacity for others to do the same. It's almost like this person tried to resist it. Because maybe, as a protection mechanism, or they felt like it wasn't safe, but it's almost like, look, if you want to be next to me, it's almost like your energy requires the same level of energy. Like, it's almost like it's a frequency thing, but let's see. Like, you gotta resonate. You can't come in here and try to disrupt my frequency, because it wasn't gonna happen. But we have the Angel of Love coming out. And it says, tender connections. Upright, this beautiful angel comes with roses in her hair and rose-colored wings. She holds a rose quartz heart, radiating tender and loving vibrations, bringing you compassion and affection. If you're looking for new love, this angel brings a message of its upcoming approach. Or if you're longing for a deeper, more intimate connection with someone already in your life, she's here to say that far greater tenderness is available to you. Either way, remember that your first intention for tenderness must be directed inward. Spirit, you better shut up. Shut up. And the compassion that you demonstrate towards yourself will influence the energetic potential of those events in a significant way. Oh my God. Like, the Angel of Love is smiling on you and forging connections in the energetic realm. I love this, y'all. Like, I love it. Oh, the confirmation be so real sometimes. So it says reversed. In the reverse position, the Angel of Love could indicate a possible disconnect in matters of the heart. While this sometimes signifies a divorce or separation, it could also imply an emotional rift where two people stay connected on a superficial basis, yet at a deeper level seem to be going their own ways. In this position, the angel can also refer to an old separation if the longing remains alive in one partner's heart. If you find yourself unable to let go, this loving angel is telling you it's time to release any toxic or unrequited attachment you may be holding on to. The universe is waiting for you to free your heart and open your life to the fully present and honoring love that you so rightly deserve. So look in the mirror and the Angel of Love there with you, and see the Angel of Love there with you. Know that you are worthy of this tender emotion from yourself and others. And the affirmation for this card says, I love and value myself without limitation or condition. Tender, loving treatment comes to me in wonderful and unexpected ways. I love this. I love when Spirit just bring it all together. I love it. Because like for some of you here, this feminine energy, like you're there. You're like, show me this excited energy, Spirit. I feel like this would be an energy that is like holding on to you. Yep, that masculine energy, and they see you. They're watching. This is that same envious energy, and they see how much you with the King of Swords and the Nine of Cups, how much you love yourself as the Nine of Cups, how happy you are within yourself. But it's also them either wanting, like you are what they want, like you would be a wish fulfillment for them, or like this is also, you know, like for some of you, I'm only gonna say it because I feel it, them wanting you, like wanting what you have for themselves, but they're fighting against what their intuition is telling them with the Five of Wands and the High Priestess. Like there's an internal conflict within this masculine that's preventing this. And can I get one for the for the Angel of Love? The Angel of Love. What is this here? If this ain't Venus and Aries, y'all. I don't know, for some of you, I feel like this energy may risk it. For some of you, if you're resonating as a feminine energy, you're already in this energy. So it's almost like you're right with it. But it's almost like with Judgment at the bottom. Like, is this masculine gonna honor the call? Or are they gonna like allow, you know, outsiders to skew their perception? The Knight of Swords could also be like an energy of naysayers. Or it almost feels like finding excuses, but it's ultimately up to this person. Or you, if this is you. But as always, y'all, I thank you all for tuning in with me. I definitely hope, you know, that this resonated for some of you. And if not, it just wasn't your story, and that's fine. I hope everyone has a safe weekend and enjoys their weekend. And I will see y'all on the next one. All right? Later.